Welcome aboard Just Jets with your captain, Matt O'Leary. Buckle up and enjoy the ride.
All right, let's get this thing started. What's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary here for episode number 35 of Just Jets. Wherever you are listening to this show, please make sure to subscribe, rate, review. Really appreciate it. And you can follow along with me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. Before we get into the surprising release of Le'Veon Bell, I wanted to talk to you about Manscaped. They sent me the Weed Whacker. We talked about the Lawnmower 3.0, but the Weed Whacker is really cool. You can trim your nose hair, ear hair. I mean, I'm 25 years old. I don't necessarily have to worry about that just yet, but I know down the line I'm going to have to worry about that eventually. Listen, guys, it's something we all go through. It makes shaving really easy. Let's say you have a really nice date you got to go on. You got to clear everything up. Le'Veon Bell, maybe he's going to be going on some dates now. He might need the lawnmower, not the lawnmower, excuse me, the Weed Whacker. Maybe he needs a lawnmower too. I mean, everyone needs to do their trimming, but promo code JETS20. I'm hooking you up. 20% off at manscaped.com. Free shipping as well over at Manscaped. Promo code JETS20. All right, let's get into this utter disaster. So I'm going to do a timeline for you guys. I had this podcast fully recorded, ready to go. And then I had to start over. And the reason for that is on Tuesday nights, do a stream with Ryan and Greenbean over at Jets Talk 24/7 on that channel. And we start at 8 o'clock. So I usually like to record the podcast around 7-ish, roughly. You know, get home from work, eat some dinner, record the podcast, do that show. Sometimes I'll edit after that show and get it ready for the morning. Sometimes I'd rather just, work on something else after that and then edit in the morning. But no, not tonight. I don't have that luxury because I had this show recorded out and, the Jets dropped the bomb, a huge bomb. They just flat out released Le'Veon Bell. Now, I don't know if they attempted to move Le'Veon Bell and they did not get any suitors. Supposedly that's the case. This comes as a major shock. It really does. And I understand that there's friction between Gase and Le'Veon Bell, but did we ever think it was going to get to this point? I mean, we are at the point now where the New York Jets elected to side with Adam Gase over Le'Veon Bell. That's what it's come down to. He has not been able to utilize Le'Veon Bell properly for the last year and a half. We know this for a fact since he's been signed. And still, I know they released him in a year and a half, 18 games into the contract, 17 games in, whatever it was. I think he played 17 games. So, I still don't think it is a bad signing because at the time it made sense. Nobody knew that Adam Gase was going to be this much of a moron. Nobody. Not even Mike McCagden. He has just refused to use Le'Veon Bell correctly, and I don't think Le'Veon's done. I think he'll sign with a contender. He'll go to the Chiefs or the Patriots or the Ravens, a team like that. He'll put up big numbers, and then it'll be, oh my God, look, another one got away from Gase and turned out to do something. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder freaking why. It always goes back to Gase. Always, always. That's what I said when he was fired from Miami and when the Jets decided to hire him. My biggest criticism, not only did his offenses stink, which they did. They were awful in Miami. They're awful here. They somehow got worse here than what they were in Miami, which is impressive. Not only that, but he creates divides with players. And we just have another example of that. He is running the Jets' best players out of town. And honestly, there is no hope for Sam Darnold right now. There's none. They don't care about Sam Darnold's development. They've thrown that out the window. Because you know what? This is just the start. They're going to try to move Jamison Crowder. They're going to try to move Brian Poole. This team is going to bottom out. That's the reality of the situation now. They don't care about Darnold's development. He is going to suffer through the next 11 games. They are going to attempt to get the first overall pick, and they'll go from there. I pray to God, and if you're not a religious person, whatever. I hope that you do whatever it is that you do when you need something. But I pray to God, myself, that Adam Gase is not the head coach next year as well. Do not give him the opportunity. And I know to every fan out there, they're probably saying, well, obviously he stinks. And I agree. I was not a fan of the hire to begin with. Go back and watch the original video, how upset I was. If they are choosing Adam Gase over Le'Veon Bell and decide to bring him back for next year, could you imagine? Oh, my God. And you know what? I wouldn't put it past this franchise because they have made awful decision after awful decision after awful decision. Christopher Johnson is lost. Woody Johnson is lost. That's the key. Ownership is the main problem. Adam Gase is a major problem as well. Don't get that wrong. But ownership enables this. Ownership enables you to hire the worst coach in football. It allows you to trade generational talents like Jamal Adams and move on from Le'Veon Bell, just release him, and ruin a prospect like Sam Darnold. And that's just in the last year and a half. You want to go back years and years and years through this whole tenure that they've been around? You can do it. You could absolutely do it. Bill Belichick did not want to coach here. Reason for that? The Johnson family. That's it. That's the reason. So yeah, I was supposed to talk about Le'Veon Bell trade rumors today. I actually had a whole podcast recorded about Le'Veon Bell trade rumors today. Instead, talking about the ineptitude of the Jets franchise, which is, again, starting from the top with ownership, allowing this to go on. So here's what I'm going to urge you to do. This is going to be my opening spiel to you guys. Here's what I'm urging. Don't buy any more Jet stuff from them. Don't do it. And I know it's hypocritical with my stuff behind me, but that's in the past. Support other avenues, but don't give money to the Johnson family. I don't see how you can, because you're enabling them at this point. If you want real change, that's how you make real change. Protesting with 6 people outside of Florham Park is only going to do so much. A banner is only going to do so much. A flyover is only going to do so much. Take money out of their pockets, different story. So I could speak for myself. I'm not going to buy anything with the Jets logo on it. I have my own store down below. Jets Talk 24/7 has some awesome stuff. Jets X Factor, I know, has some. I don't know why that words aren't coming out tonight. That's how frustrated and upset I am. Jets X Factor has some stuff. A lot of great Jets content creators and individuals and small businesses have different Jets merch that you can get. You can still support without putting money in the pocket of them, the Johnsons. So that's what I'm urging you to do. I'm upset. I'm bothered because they just threw this season away, completely threw it away. And they've enabled the worst coach in football to ruin this franchise and continue to bring it down, bury it. And you know what? Ironically, today's Rich Kotite's birthday. And do what I think we learned today? Adam Gase is worse than Rich Kotite. Rich Kotite might have had the worst losing percent or winning percentage. But what Adam Gase has done to this franchise is going to take a long time to dig yourself out of. This is not an easy fix. It's not. And you know what? There was some promise right after 2018 when he was hired. You had Jamal Adams. You had Sam Darnold. Brought in Le'Veon Bell shortly after that. And now where is it? Jamal's in Seattle. He went AWOL. He went nuts. You had to move him at that point, but still hire a different coach, and who knows how that plays out. Darnold's probably not going to be on the team next year. Probably not. I like Sam Darnold. I do. But I think they're going on a path to the first overall pick. And they're going to take Trevor Lawrence with the first overall pick. That's it. It's as simple as that. It's depressing. The effort last week in the game was depressing. We'll talk about that. I have reactions. We're going to get into voicemail. So the open was just going to be Le'Veon Bell stuff and just my overall thoughts, which is I'm just frustrated. I know you guys are too. It's not easy. It's not fun. And let's get into the voicemails now and talk about some other stuff. First one, anonymous. We don't have a name on this one. Wants to talk about Chris Herndon.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? Listen, I just got to say, I'm watching this game right now. I don't know what happened to Chris Herndon, but he's got to go. He has got to go. At this point, he's just a liability. I don't see any way or possibility that he can become an asset again to this team. I mean, I just want to see what you think. How do you even evaluate his performance thus far this season? It's mind-boggling. But, anyways, go Jets.
Yeah, he's been really bad. Chris Herndon's been pretty rough. So many drops. I think he's someone who could potentially be freed from Adam Gase. The Adam Gase Freedom Watch that's been so popular. Ryan Tannehill, Kenyon Drake, Jarvis Landry. You can go down the line of guys who had to work with Adam Gase and have since left and gotten better. I don't think they're going to move on from him after this year. They have one more year on his rookie deal. If I'm not mistaken, he'll be on the team next year, I would assume. And then next year is a big year for him. I think there's talent there. There definitely is. He's played awfully, but I think there is some talent there. So I don't think they're going to give up on him. I don't. But we'll see. It's not looking too good right now, though. Thank you for the question. Next up, Anthony from New Jersey wants to talk Herndon and Gase.
Hey, Matt. Anthony from New Jersey, big Jet fan. Two things. How bad is Chris Herndon and offensive guru Adam Gase, who tries 2 trick plays in a row that probably cost them a chance at the game? Thank you, and go Jets.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, like I just said, Herndon's had a really bad start to this year. I don't think he's going to be much of a factor this year. We actually saw another example, Mike Gesicki. I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce the last name. Gesicki in Miami has been really good. Gase doesn't use tight ends. It's frustrating. As for Gase himself, I mean, listen, this is someone who has shown time and time again in the last year and a half how flawed he is as a play caller. And he put it on full display there. Jeff Smith had no chance on that trick play. And then what did he do right after that? Second and 22, 26, something like that. Something nuts like that. Run up the middle with Gore. We're going to have so much more of that. So much fun to look forward to. Thank you for the question, Anthony. Next up, we're going to go to Nick in Georgia with some reaction here.
Hey, Matt. It's Nick from Georgia. How you doing? I'm not doing too good.
Me neither, buddy.
Man,
Me neither.
This offensive-minded brilliance of this coach, man, this is the best football that I have seen from the Jets in my entire 22 years of living. It's fantastic. Man, it's getting to the point where it's like, should I even watch the games anymore? I don't know. I guess if you want to take one bright spot away from this Jets offense, it's that Jamison Crowder's been, 100 yards every game he's played in, which, again, it's not much, but at least it's something to hold on to. We still got 97-year-old Frank Gore touching the ball more than Michael P. Ryan. I don't understand. You draft a running back in the 4th round. Why not let him see what he's made out of? Golly, I don't know. Yeah, no question this week, Matt. Just had to come on and vent for a minute about this. Again, this brilliant offensive mind. I understand you got Joe Flacco in there, but come on, man. 30 to – oh, my God.
I know.
Oh Jets.
The depressing go Jets at the end. It gets me every single time. Thank you so much for checking in, Nick. You hit it on the head, man. The crazy part is why you're giving Frank Gore the ball at this point in his career over Michael Pirine. For what? For what? Gore ranks. Ready for this? There are 43 qualified players, both running backs and quarterbacks mostly, but runners who have hit enough to where they are charting. So 43 yards per carry. Guess where Gore is on that list? 41. 41 out of 43. He is right there at the bottom. He stinks. He's done. Sorry, Frank Gore. You're a Hall of Famer. You're an absolute legend, but you're cooked. It's over, man. I'm sorry, but that's it. Thank you for your input there, Nick. It's frustrating. I'm right there with you. I've said it before, but this is Jets therapy now. This is what we're doing. We're going to go to Travis, who he's got some reaction as well and has a question at the end. So let's hear from Travis.
Hey, Matt. Travis from Ohio. Hey, buddy. Another sorry output against Arizona. But I don't want to talk about any of that. Our drafting obviously needs to get better, especially after McCagnon and Edzig. We don't have anybody from 2015.
Yep.
2016, we drafted Darren Lee and Christian Hackenberg. We saw how well that ended up, and Jordan Jenkins is the only other player on the team after that whole thing. Then in 17, we had Jamal Adams and May. That kind of worked out all right, but nobody else. 18 has been pretty sad, even with Sam and Herndon. Herndon got freaking benched, and Griffin started in place of him. So my question's this: we're gonna have all new coaching, except hopefully Boyer we can keep on special teams, and Joe hopefully does magic again. I hope we can see his draft class actually play the field this year sometime. Anyway, what 5 areas do you think we need to work on the most? I know we need help everywhere, but I did actually see a little bit of improvement. Not a whole lot. God, they're awful. And we don't have anybody healthy. So, anyway, love you. F. Jamal Adams, F. Adam Gase, and Chris Johnson. Bye.
Thank you for checking in, as always, Travis. So, okay. Areas they need to improve. Coaching. Discipline. The amount of penalties and just stupidity is crazy. Finding talent. Need to do a better job of finding talent. Ownership. Need better owners. And mental mistakes. Just in all phases. From drafting to coaching to on the field. It's kind of like discipline. I might have cheated on that, but that's what I'm going to say. That's my 5 areas. God, this sucks. Next up, Max in New Jersey has some Gase reaction. Let's hear from Max.
This is Max. Hi, this is Max from Herndon, New Jersey. I have a question for you. When do you think Adam Gase will get fired? Because that was a horrible game by the Jets today. Why on 31 and on 4th and 1, why do we punt? It's so ridiculous. Like, can Adam Gase have a creative play call? My high school coach, I don't even play football, and he has better play calls than Adam Gase. If Adam Gase gets fired next year, one of my favorite head coaches is Eric Bieniemy.
Fair.
I watched the Chiefs-Ravens game on Monday Night Football, and Eric Bieniemy had some of the most creative play calls ever. He had a fullback thing to Sherman for like a touchdown. I want Bieniemy in there. He's good. He's an actual offensive guru. What is your opinion on Eric Bieniemy? Do you think he should get hired next season?
Oh.
This is Max, and follow me on YouTube.
Oh, what's your YouTube, buddy? Oh. If you're going to do the shout out, let me know what the channel is. Definitely interested. Okay. So I agree with you about Eric Bieniemy. I'm a big fan of his. He's towards the top of my list. I like Arthur Smith a lot. He put out a really good performance against the Buffalo Bills tonight. He's done wonders with Ryan Tannehill, Brian Daboll of the Bills. Sure. Okay. Matt Campbell from the college route. PJ Fleck from the college route. Joe Brady, who is the offensive coordinator for Matt Rule. You guys know how I feel about Matt Rule. He was with LSU last year. I think there's a lot of good head coaching candidates. I don't think Gase gets fired midseason. I do think they are looking to move on from Gase after this year. That would be my best guess. Again, it's not completely out of the cards that they would look for him to come back. It wouldn't be the craziest thing. Nothing they do should surprise you at this point. Absolutely nothing they do should surprise you at this point. It's scary, but that's the God's honest truth. So thank you so much, Max, for checking in. Chris from Jersey wants to talk some Gase. Don't we all?
Hey, Matt, what's going on? Chris from Jersey, calling about this buffoon Gase again. So I just want to make a point about
Sure.
the coaching. So for the past 20 years, look at the Patriots. They've changed players every season,
Yep.
even at quarterback during Brady's injury, suspension, etc. And the game has always looked the same. And who gets the credit for that? Belichick and his staff, and rightfully so. So today I sit down, I reluctantly sit through 4 quarters of this nonsense again, and I notice Flacco had a game almost identical to Sam in week 2 and 4. I mean, it looked like the same quarterback. I mean, at least to me it did. If Flacco was wearing 14, you could have convinced me it was Sam on the field. So if you change the most important position on the field and the game looks exactly the same,
Great
who is
point.
that on? It's on the coach. I just look at some of the things he did today. I mean, it just makes no sense. You got a fresh Le'Veon Bell. In the first quarter, you're running Gore, run after run, and you got Bell on the sideline. The 3rd and 1 to Wesco was ridiculous. The 4th and 1 after that to Bell, I ain't gonna get on him for that. But after the 16-yard loss that Jeff Smith had on 2nd and 26, the handoff to Gore, what do you think? What is he even doing? And then Cliff Kingsbury has his own 4th and 1 in his own end and makes you look like an idiot with a great play call. I mean, I can't do this anymore.
I know.
I don't get it. I don't even have a question. That's just my rant. Well, I don't know. Here's my question. When's the nightmare end? I can't do it. Thanks. Take care.
Oh my God. Electrifying telephone call, Chris. You're spot on Gase. You really are. I don't have much to add on that because, well, I mean, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here every week. I don't want this to turn into just me yelling about Adam Gase, but I know it probably gets tiresome, but that's it. That's the big storyline right now. I'm sorry, but that's it. I think he's fired at the end of the year. I think you got to suffer through this. Maybe he goes 0-16 and never gets hired again in the NFL. That would be a win, I guess. I don't know. Nick from Atlanta's next. He wants to talk about the tank.
Hey, Matt. It's Nick from Atlanta. So I have kind of a scenario for you that I want you to play out for us. So let's say you're Joe Douglas, and let's say the trade deadline is tomorrow. I want to know every player in the Jets, whether it's Le'Veon, Darnold, Quinnen, Jordan Jenkins, whomever. Who are you trading? Who are you trading? Like who are you trading to? And what do you think you could get for them? That's like a reasonable package for both sides. Because I think at this stage we just need to go full tank mode. Why go half in? And I think we should just go all in. So let me know what you think. Love the show. Go Jets.
Yeah, really appreciate that. Thank you so much for checking in. Obviously, this was before Le'Veon got traded. I would have thought maybe you get like a 5th-round pick for Le'Veon. Quinnen Williams, I would trade. Sure, why not? I think John Franklin Myers has played better anyway, and he could play on the interior. And they have a bunch of other guys who could play on the interior. Let's be honest here. Let's say the Raiders, I think, would be a good fit. I just see that. I think Gruden really liked him in the draft process, too, if I remember correctly. So let's say to the Raiders for a second, maybe. Can you get a second for Quinnen Williams as a top 3 pick, former top 3 pick? I think you probably could. And then Jamison Crowder, I think the Ravens would be a great fit. Maybe like a third or a fourth round pick there. I don't think you're going to get anything much higher than that. Not that Jamison's not a great player. I don't think the trade market for a wide receiver is really going to be all that hot. So I'll say a third or a fourth round pick for Jamison Crowder. You could probably trade, let's see, Brian Poole. Teams are always looking for corner help. You can maybe get a mid-round pick for Brian Poole. That's about it, man. Next up is Dan, who wanted to talk about Le'Veon Bell. I'll let the question go out. He wants to talk about the Le'Veon Bell potential trade, but let's just hear this out and then go back to it.
Hey, what's up, Matt? It's Dan from New York, calling for a third time. Hope all's well with you, man. I know Jets Nation, we're all in a deep depression. We're all, I don't know what we do without this form of Jets therapy these days, to be honest. So it's much appreciated to have, the fan base to vent with. But anyways, coming off this last, loss with the Cardinals, and the comments, from Le'Veon through tweets, and Gase's continued just inability to use such an asset on this team. The best free agent who was willing to come here, loved the idea of being a Jet, embraced it. It was, great for the locker room, was feeding off that Jamal energy. For him to be treated the way he has by Gase is just an absolute disgrace. And, I got his jersey and it's a shame, but if the Johnsons do what they're known to do, he's going to be, we're going to have Gase as our coach till the end of the year.
100%, yeah.
If the Johnsons do what they historically do. So my question is, with that as what I think will happen in the backdrop, do you think, A, we're going to have to trade Le'Veon, and B, in the topic of trade, at that point, it's like just transparently a lost season. Who else on this roster do you think is someone you'd like to see traded, or do you think we have no choice to trade, similarly with Le'Veon, as we look to hitting that reset button with Joe Douglas next year? Let me know, man. Always appreciate your insight, and go Jets.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you checking in. I know at this point you couldn't trade Le'Veon Bell, so they released him, which is bananas. But to me, this is just they gave up on the season. They don't, and the weird part is they don't care about the evaluation process of Sam Darnold, because you can't put nothing around him and then be like, well, that's not our guy. So they gave up. They've given up on Sam Darnold. There's no way for him to succeed. There's none. And some of it's on him. He did get a little bit worse footwork wise, but part of it is also the awful coaching, the awful personnel around him. It's sad. It's really, really sad. It's not good. It's really not a good thing at all. I don't know how you're going to attract any free agents to come here unless you blow them out of the water with money, but that's how you get yourself in cap hell. This is a really, really bad time for the Jets. I can't stress that enough. Last one's Bobby from Tennessee. Wants to talk about firing Adam Gase.
Hey, Matt. Hey, this is Bobby calling from Johnson City, Tennessee. Hey, man, I'm just so discouraged, as all Jet fans are, I'm sure, with the coach. I mean, Adam Gase, I just want to know, from Chris Johnson's perspective, what the hell does it take, man, to fire a coach? He's lost the locker room. He's 0-5. He can't call a decent play. I mean, goodness, what in the world does it take to let him go? I know Johnson is probably leaning on the fact of him coming out week one back in Gase, and now it's hard for him to eat crow. But, man, I mean, he's got to realize sooner than later that Gase is garbage. And just let him go, please God.
Amen.
Thanks for taking my call. Bye now.
Appreciate you checking in. Really appreciate it. What else is there to say? This has just gone completely off the rails at this point. I don't think anyone expected it to get this bad. Not even me, to be completely honest with you. I'm not an Adam Gase guy. I thought on the day of the hire is funny because I recently watched back that video from that day, and I thought the Jets we're gonna be like middle of the pack. I actually said they'll probably go 7-9, which they did, but it wasn't a good 7-9. It really wasn't. Unbelievable. And then now this year, going into the year, I thought they could probably go 7-9 again. Roster looks like it's coming around a little bit, and just defense regression. Sam regress, Gase getting worse, bad, toxic injuries, just bad, just really, really bad. I don't know what else to say. I really don't. It's at that frustrating part. Like, we're all just in this together. I know it's Jets therapy, but sometimes it gets you bummed out. It really does. So we'll be back next week. We're here to talk. We'll talk about whatever the hell happens in this Miami game. I guess I'll end the show talking about the Miami game very, very briefly. Picking Miami to win. I think they'll probably win like 27-13, something like that. Jets don't win on the road. Adam Gase has been awful on the road. This team has a legitimate shot to go 0-16. So 11 more games. 11 more games, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But thank you so much for tuning in. Sorry for the depressing episode. That's the direction we're going now. But once again, I'm Matt O'Leary. If you're new, please make sure to subscribe to wherever you're listening to this show, and I'll talk to you next time.